Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Horrid Henry's house. Yep, that's right, despite being pretty horrid, he has quite a nice house. If you do enjoy this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button, I'd really appreciate that. And also suggest more houses that you would like to see in the future, specifically if they are from a cartoon or a movie. But without any further ado, why don't I actually show you how to make this thing. So, if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some terracotta, some white concrete, purple concrete, yellow concrete, light grey concrete, light blue glass, birchwood slabs, stone brick slabs, and some orange concrete. We also need every single other material that you can see in my inventory right now, and I do mean absolutely every single one of them. So make sure that you've got them all, and once you do, we can kick off this build. So we're going to start this off by placing a row of 2 terracotta going right on the ground. That's 1 and 2. Place a purple concrete and go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go right by 2, 1, 2, and connect down to the ground. If you like, you can also place 2 light blue glass coming down from that middle purple concrete. This is where the front door is going to be. Now, we're going to place 2 terracotta going right of the purple concrete that hit the ground. 1, 2. Then looking down, we're going to place 2 bottom right diagonals going right using the terracotta. 1, 2. We're going to go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do 2 inward diagonals. 1, 2. And then go right by 1. So the shape that you're after should look very much like this. Now, place a yellow concrete on top of the single diagonal terracottas. You also want to place a row of yellow concrete on top of the row of 5 terracotta. Place 2 rows of glass on top of all of this. 1 row of glass and 2 rows of glass. Place another layer of yellow concrete on top of the glass, like this, and then place a layer of birchwood slabs in front of the upper half of the yellow concrete, at the base of the window. Let's continue. So take the terracotta and go backwards from this terracotta that we have right here on the very right hand side. You want to extend this backwards by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then extend that 10th block across the back of the build by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend it coming out of the back by a further 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then extend that 6th block to the right by 1. Place an orange concrete. Go up on top of it by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go right by 2. 1, 2. And connect down to the ground. If you like, you can also place 2 light blue glass inside the top 2 empty spaces underneath the middle concrete. Place a row of light grey concrete on top of the door, and go to the entire right of the door, all of the door, the orange and the light grey, place an entire row of terracotta. Take the top terracotta and extend it to the right by 3 with the light grey, 1, 2, 3. Then place 3 rows of glass underneath, 1, 2, 3, with a row of yellow concrete underneath that, and a row of terracotta underneath that. Place birchwood slabs in front of the upper half of the yellow concrete. Place an entire row of terracotta to the right of the window, and then you should successfully be able to connect to the front of the house, like this. Now, before we move on, we are going to add some additional details. Where we have the back corner of the house, where we have this literal 90-degree angle, we need to add windows. So the first position is here. So what we want to do is we want to take these 2 blocks in this corner and we want to place terracotta on top of them. So these 2 and also these 2 as well. So if you can see which ones I've raised up, it's these 2 sets of 2. Place yellow concrete on top of those. 2 rows of glass on top of that. 1, 2, and 1, 2. Place light grey on top of that. place terracotta on top of that, then place a layer of white concrete, then a layer of yellow, then 2 rows of light blue glass, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and then a final row of light grey concrete. We want to have something which should look very similar to this. We want to also place birchwood slabs in front of the upper half of the yellow concrete rows. So we want to have something which should look like this. Come to the front of the house. On the front of the house, we also have more windows to plan out. Take the very first terracotta that you would have placed, which is this one, and go up on top of it by 6 using the terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a row of 5 white concrete coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go right of the top white concrete by 1. Place 2 light grey going right. 1, 2. And then place 2 glass underneath the light grey, 1, 2, and a row of yellow concrete underneath that. We then want to leave a gap of 4 going right, or better yet, place 4 rows of 4 white concrete going right. So like this, I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then replicate the window. So we want to take the bottom row of white and we want to extend it to the right by 2 with the yellow. Place 2 rows of glass on top of this with a row of light grey on top of that. Place 2 rows of white going right of the window. Then replicate the window again. So 2 yellow. Then we want to place 2 rows of glass with a row of light grey. And complete the window by placing 2 rows of white concrete. 1 and 2. So we want to have something which should look like this. And just as with all of the other windows, feel free to place birchwood slabs directly in front of the upper half of yellow concrete. Now, let's build up the rest of the house. Everywhere that we have regular terracotta, we want to add 6 more rows on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Like that. We want to add 6 more rows on top absolutely everywhere. So all in between the windows we want to do it, and we want to do it all the way around the house. And once we've done that, we'll be adding our white in there as well. Henry seems to have a nice two-tone house. The lower half is just like regular normal brick color, and the upper half is white, and that is exactly what we're replicating. I thought that it'd be best to get all of the little mini details out of the way, all of the windows and stuff, so that we could easier focus on the actual shape of the house, which is exactly what we're going to be doing now. You don't have to count out all of those rows over and over and over again. As soon as you've got one row, simply just keep building up to the right of it in like a clockwise or an anti-clockwise motion or whatever. Just go all the way around the house and make sure they're all matches. So you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I'm hoping that you guys will manage to do the same without messing anything up, and I'm sure you won't, because this is a very simple bit. And we just have the door to do as well. We've got to build up just underneath the door, and here too, just like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to also build above the bay window. We're going to build above the bay window here, and we're also going to fill the top of the bay window in so it comes into the wall using terracotta. So we want to have an effect that should look like this, although we will be correcting this later. Now, all we have to do is we just have to basically make the rest of the house as high as the front of the house by adding in rows of white concrete. So it's the same deal again, this time just with the white concrete, and what we want to do is we want to make sure that everywhere is as high as the front of the house using the white concrete, and just white concrete because we have added in all of the necessary details so far to the house. So we're just going to fill in all in between the windows. There's a little less white concrete than there is terracotta, so that's all right. It won't take us too long. I do believe that there isn't like 2 less rows in relation to the terracotta, so it won't take us long, and it will, of course, give us that really nice look that we're going for. Henry kind of lives in like a nice standard British house, kind of like a nice standard semi-detached British house, which is, if you're wondering, I'm sure that you guys know, because I'm sure that you'd be familiar with the show, he lives next to somebody, so that is why the left-hand side of his house, as you look at it from the front, the left-hand side of his house, as you look at it from the front, is completely blank. That is why there is nothing on this side right here, because he lives next to someone, and therefore, you know, there's nothing going on. So that is what we want to have so far, okay? Let's move on to the next bit. So, now, come to the right-hand side of the house. Come all the way up to the top, and you'll notice that we have this short row of white concrete. On top of this row, we want to place another row of white concrete, shrinking it one row either side. And then we want to do that again. And again. And again. And again. So we want to create a triangular shape such as this. We want to come to the opposite side of the build, and we want to replicate this. So, if it helps, you can run a row of white concrete that comes from that opposite side to help you better plan out the roof. But it's the same thing again. Add rows and rows on top of this, shrinking it gradually to create a pyramid, like this. What we then want to do is we want to, using our stone brick stairs, we'll also need some stone slabs and some cobblestone wall and even a bit of light grey concrete. We want to place rows of stone brick stairs that sit on top of the outer part of this pyramid. And on this particular occasion, it wants to start directly on top of the house. So like where you have the windows, it wants to start just on top of it. So I'll show you in a second once we've actually reached the top. So we just want to hit the top like this. That is one side of the pyramid done. You see that it wants to begin here. We don't want to place any stairs in front of the windows. And if we come to the opposite side, we want to do the same thing again. So on the opposite side, once again, we just want to build up the rows of the pyramid. The back of the house is a little bit different and a little bit trickier, but only a little bit. It is not that hard to do. We will be doing that in just a moment. So what we want to do is we also want to place a row of stone brick slabs that comes all the way up at the top of the roof. So it kind of like puts a nice little finish. It pops half a row up above the stairs. We also want to have these stairs overhang the roof by one row. This also includes the stone slab as well. So take these stairs and the stone slab up at the top and extend them, coming across the side of the roof by one row, exactly like this, and all the way down to the opposite side. Very nice. And the opposite side as well, we also want the same thing. And what we'll also be doing before we just move on to the back of the house, because that is another detail, you can see that we've got a bit of roof there. There is a chimney on Horrid Henrys' house. There is a decent sized chimney that we'll be placing in just a moment. There's also some guttering and stuff, which is basically like where water and stuff runs off the roof, gets caught in the guttering, and it runs down the drain pipe. That's what happens when it rains. So that's what we want to have. On specifically the right hand side of the build, you want to come to this stone slab here, this one, not the one at the end, the one inwards, and we want to place a terracotta. And you want to place one on top, extend it forwards and backwards by one row, like this. Extend the terracotta down into the roof, so destroy a stair where you need to, and then place stone slabs on top of this. So you want to have a chimney that should look like that. That looks quite good if I do say so. On the back of the house, we want to place a row of stone brick stairs that sits on top of the row of white concrete slash grey concrete. So we want to place a row of stairs. And we also want to place a row of stairs above and inside of that row of stairs. So again, above and inside that row of stairs, connecting back to the main part of the roof. And we also want to place just one more time another row of stairs coming up and inside of the roof, just like this. And we're going to finish it off Just making sure that it connects, guys. And we are going to, yeah, that connects, okay. And we're going to finish it off by placing a row of stone brick slabs directly on top of this. So just cover it all up, stone brick slabs on top of that. And to make sure that it merges, you may have to delete and replace some of these stairs that stop it connecting. So that's that side done. But if you have a look at this other side, you can see that the roof doesn't connect. Simply destroy the connecting block and replace it in the right way, and it will join nicely. The last couple of components of Horrid Henry's house are very simple. So first of all, we're going to add some guttering. I'll show you on the front first. So on the front of the house, all the way up at the top, we're going to place a light grey concrete all the way up at the top front corner of the house. We want to place a row of stone slabs going left of the upper half of the light grey concrete. And we want to place a row of cobblestone wall connecting down to the ground. That is guttering and a drain pipe. It adds a nice little bit of detail to the house. We want the same on the back. However, on the back, we're going to have a light grey concrete in the corner with cobblestone wall running down the center crack of the house. And we want to have stone slab running from that light grey. And it actually wants to come as far as the opposite side. So it wants to come as far as here. And if you wanted to, you could even have another drain pipe if you so chose. Although it's not necessary, you could even have another drain pipe. Although I don't think that's in the original design, so you might not want to add it. Although it's very hard to get a back shot of Henry's house. One last detail that we're going to be adding is this. So, take out your stone brick slabs. You want to find the door. It shouldn't be that hard. The front door. You want to find the top left-hand corner block, and you want to move left of it by 1. Take this terracotta and extend it outwards using a row of... How many rows? It's 1, 2, 3 rows of stone brick slabs coming out of the front of the house. Extend it all the way over to the right and connect it to the house just left of the drain pipe. Like this. Place a row of stone brick stairs above and inside of the row of stone brick slabs. Like this. And place a row of stone brick slabs above and inside the empty space. That creates a very nice hangover. Now we have some individual details to add to the house before we do the garden. So for these little bits, we need green concrete, wooden trapdoors, we need birchwood slabs, birch fence, oak leaves, we need dark oak wood doors, we need red terracotta, and we even need a little bit of stone. We'll probably need some more stuff as well. Just left of the main front door, there's no main front door, there's not like a secondary door, we want to place a birch fence with a birch wood plank block on top of it with an oak leaf on top of that. Oh, we also need the blue concrete. That's just a little potted plant that's next to the door. Speaking of the door, place a dark oak wood door in the empty space. Left and right of the bay window, place a blue concrete with an oak wood leaf on top of it. All that is, it's basically just a potted plant. Once again, a little bit of detail. On the right hand side of the house, somewhere towards the front, place 2 green terracotta on top of each other with a wooden trapdoor on top. That is a bin that exists in the actual house. On the back of the house, we have yet to add a door. So we're going to add a dark oak wood door. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is actually Horrid Henry's house complete. But I think that the garden plays a very important role in Henry's house. So we're going to add one. So for the garden, we're going to need a lime terracotta, our stone slabs. We need some stone, red terracotta, dark oak wood stairs, dark oak wood fence gates. We need a little bit of water buckets. And later on, we'll need oak saplings and some bone meal too. Find the bay window on the front of the house. There are 5 blocks in the middle of the window. Destroy 2 rows in front of those 5 blocks. 1, 2. Fill those in with stone. Destroy 2 rows in front of the stone and replace them with lime terracotta. Place a row of stone slabs in front of the lime terracotta. extend each of the end blocks inwards and then outwards. And extend those blocks towards you by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extend those 4th blocks inwards, towards you, connect them together. Destroy the center of this, just as I'm doing now, all of the grass, and replace the center of this with water. You see, Henry has a pond. That is it. Destroy the 5 middle blocks of the end of the pond and replace them with lime terracotta. You can even make that 2 rows if you like. We then want to place in front of the terracotta, red terracotta. We want to extend that red terracotta to the left. And we want to connect it to the front of the house. Like that. We then want to extend the red terracotta to the right by 1, 2, 3. That would, if we wanted to, connect to the front of the house. We're then going to leave a gap of 4 in the ground, going right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to replace that with stone. You can make this as wide as you want, by the way. I'm then going to place a red terracotta, and I'm going to extend that red terracotta backwards. I'm going to extend it all the way back. So I want it to come as far back as the actual house itself. Now, the back garden is going to be as wide as the wall. So as wide as the wall to the back of the house. In the back garden, as far as I can tell, there's a couple of things. There is a tree that's probably, say, like 10 blocks away from the house, and it's roughly where the window is. So I'm going to place an oak sapling, and I'm going to bone meal it. I hope it's not massive. Perfect. Somewhere opposite the tree, and a little bit further down, is going to be a little wooden playhouse. So we're going to use oak wood planks, some stone brick stairs, and some stone brick slabs. The playhouse or shed or whatever it is about 5 blocks wide, coming this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It comes in about 5 blocks as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can join them together. It wants to be longer than it is wide. We want to place 3 rows on top. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely everywhere we want to place 3 rows directly on top of the shed, the playhouse, whatever the case may be. I'm not really sure where it is. I honestly, confession, I don't watch Horrid Henry. I just happened to take an interest because a lot of you guys were suggesting it, so I thought it might be fun to make. We have to create a doorway on this side of the shed or whatever it might be, and I'm going to place a dark oak wood door there instead. And on the side, we're going to add enough space for windows. So knock out the middle row of 3 and place in some glass. To make the roof, we're going to take the short side and we're going to place a triangle on top of that side and on top of this side. And we're going to place stone brick stairs on the side of the shed. I'm going to call it a shed because that's what I'm assuming. I'm going to place stone brick stairs on top of the side of the shed like this. And they are going to go from the front to the back. And they're going to be made, and the roof is going to be made in the same manner as you would expect any other roof. It's going to extend the stone brick blocks backwards by 1 row. We're going to place them underneath like this. And we're also going to place stone brick slabs coming all the way across the back center of the build. So you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about once I've done this. So we're going to destroy this. Oh, not destroy this. We're going to do all of that. And then we're going to place stone brick slabs running all the way up the back. And this pretty much concludes the detail for the back of the garden. Feel free to add bone meal and stuff if you feel as though that it needs to be a bit more weedy. Okay, so this red terracotta wall that we were making now wants to be extended backwards. It wants to come back basically as far as you want it, but enough. It wants to come as far as the shed at least, and then maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks or so further beyond the shed. It's quite a long back garden, so you can get away with it. we are then going to extend it across the back of the garden, and we're going to extend it towards the house. So it actually wants to connect the house stupidly where I've put the drain pipe, so the drain pipe might not be a good idea at all. And we're then just going to place that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much Horrid Henry's house. I'm going to show you how to do a little more. So, where we have the pond, we're going to destroy 2 blocks to the left of the pond and 2 blocks to the right of the pond. And we're going to destroy all of the grass in between the front wall and between where the lime terracotta starts in front of the pond. So we're going to basically create a nice big square shape like this. So at the front and the back of the pond like this. We're going to replace all of that empty space using our lime terracotta, because we want to have a slightly fancier feel on the front of the house, like this. Just a fancier feel here, and also on the right hand side. We're also going to be adding bushes, and we are also going to be adding a front gate. So, there we go, lime terracotta. The front gate is in line with the front door, so destroy these 3 terracotta. Place dark oak wood stairs coming inwards from the left and right hand blocks, and dark fence gate in the center. We want to grab our oak leaves, and we want to place a row of oak leaves where the actual pond is, like just in front of the wall, like the width of the pond, and then 1 block beyond it. And on the left hand side, just next to the gate, there is also a row of bushes that comes roughly about as far as the lime terracotta. So we want to have something that should look like this. Now, some final details. This is the last bit of detail, and it's completely up to you whether you do this. It will take a little bit. If you want, you can pave the area from the front of the house all the way to where the back of the house is. So if you like, you can mark out where the back of the house is equal to where the actual wall is, and you can destroy all of the grass at the front of the build coming towards the back of the build. If you like, you might even want to add perhaps an additional couple of rows at the back, or maybe just like enough space that you can walk out of the back door, if you like. And all of this inside of these lines that I've marked out, I'm going to delete the grass and I'm going to replace it using stone. This is the final touch of Horrid Henry's house, other than the fact that, you know what, I'm probably going to bone meal the back garden just for the fun of it. So I'm just going to bone meal back here just so that it looks a tad more interesting. So there we go. That looks quite nice. I'm going to go away. I'm going to destroy all the grass. You guys will be able to see how it looks, and you'll be able to figure out whether you want to do this for yourself. Back in a moment. So this is what the place looks like once you've replaced all of the grass with stone. You can see that I've stopped when it comes to the back of the house, exactly where I kind of laid out, and the house is looking pretty done, pretty complete. I don't think that I've missed anything. I think that I've managed to do just about everything that I wanted to do. I'm sorry if there's little bits of detail here and there that's kind of irritated you that I've not included, but if you know better than me, simply add them yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. If you hit that like button, it helps me out, it helps the video, it helps out the channel, makes me nice and happy. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And by the way, guys, just letting you know, you can suggest more cartoon related builds down below in the comments if you do want to see more cartoon related stuff. You can see a wide variety of cartoon builds surrounding me. We actually have quite a full looking world around here. It's getting kind of cool. I quite like it. This is like Cartoon Corner. If you do want to see more cartoon related builds, check out the card system in the description below. I've got a wide range of cartoons. I don't know why that was so hard to say. In the card system in the description below that you guys can check out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.